I am a stroke survivor, and I thought I would tell you all my story. 6 years ago, I had a massive stroke that completely wiped out the right side of my brain and left me with paralysis on the left side of my body. I used to own 2 flower shops before my stroke, and then I had to close them down. So I'm still trying to continue running my own business using just the one right hand that I have still working. So I'm going to show you a flower video later on of me trying to make an arrangement with one hand to give other people encouragement that life still does go on after stroke. I thought I would start out by telling my story. 6 years ago, I was laying on my bed watching TV. It was about 10 p.m. I had a massive, massive headache. Never have I felt such a headache so pounding and so awful. While I was watching TV, I was having an out-of-body experience. Felt like I was floating up and watching myself laying on the bed watching TV. I went downstairs to get some Tylenol PM to get rid of my headache. I told my husband, I think I need to check my blood pressure because my headache is so bad, and I bet my blood pressure is very high. I went back up to go to bed after I took my medicine. Went to sleep, no problem. 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up because I had to go to the bathroom. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't sit up in my bed. I kept trying and trying to sit up, and my body just wouldn't let me sit up. Finally, I got myself up, and I went to stand up to walk to the bathroom, which is only a few feet from my bed. And as soon as I stood up, I fell to the ground. I thought I had gotten my sheets caught around my feet. So I called to my husband to come help me stand up. And when I stood up, I realized I couldn't put any weight on my feet. He helped me get into the bathroom, and then when I went to get back in bed, he said he couldn't understand a word I was saying, that my words were all slurred. So he called 911, said, I think you're having a heart attack or a stroke. The rescue squad came and did some tests on me, squeezed my finger, tell me your name, tell me your birthday, smile. And all I remember is I keep hearing them say, facial droop, facial droop. Next thing I know, I'm in the ambulance being taken to our local hospital. When I got to the hospital, they did a bunch of tests on me, MRIs, CAT scans. And then they said they're going to have to airlift me to a bigger hospital in Washington, D.C. that could handle the severity of the stroke that I had. I had an ischemic stroke. My carotid artery had dissected because of an aneurysm. And then the blood clotting totally cut off circulation and air supply to the right side of my brain, which killed every bit of it. So they airlifted me to George Washington University Hospital in Washington, D.C. I do remember riding in the helicopter. I remember the captain talking to me, the pilot, giving me nausea medicine because I was so nauseous from the helicopter going up and down. Felt like an amusement park ride. I remember them telling me we can't land at the hospital because of the no-fly zone near the White House. So we're going to land in a nearby park, and an ambulance is going to come by and pick you up and take you to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I spent probably a week in intensive care, and then they moved me to the stroke ward at the hospital. There is where I spent a lot of time. I don't remember too much. I remember seeing visitors, and I remember the doctors coming in and talking to me and doing a bunch of tests on me. You know, patterns like, I'm going to give you 5 words and then repeat them back to me. Tell me who the president is. What's your birthday? What's the day of the week? Tell me if you can move your arm, squeeze my hand. And they brought in a stroke specialist to take care of me. She was a fantastic doctor. She said, you're going to make it through this, and the nurses were amazing. Kept encouraging me, making me laugh. Then after the stroke ward, they moved me to the in-house physical therapy unit, where I started intense physical and occupational therapy. Every single day I went 2 times a day for 3 hours each, teaching me how to get dressed, teaching me how to sit up in the wheelchair and how to wheel myself with one hand, teaching me how to put my shoes on, teaching me how to climb stairs, how to eventually stand up. The first time they got me standing up was with a machine, a big, huge, amazing looking machine that put me in a harness and had me standing up to try to walk. I eventually graduated to a Hemi walker, and then they got me to a 4-pronged cane. Gradually I went to a 1-point cane to where I had to walk so many feet before they would let me go home. After 2.5 months in the hospital, I finally got home where I started my outpatient physical therapy. And I took therapy until insurance cut me off because they don't believe in maintenance plans. So I've been out of therapy now for about a year, and I'm really trying hard to concentrate on keeping my flower business up and running. I use silk flowers because I don't have room in my house for a flower cooler. My husband made me a little studio in my basement. So my next video will be showing you how I do things, and I've learned to do it with the one hand that I have. And I'm hoping that it'll encourage you all to still follow your dreams after the horrible tragedy of a stroke has taken your life as you know it away, that you can keep on going.